You didn't quit. You're really like against all odds. You're doing something that no one in the family's done, that none of your friends have done.
I'm just gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Whatever is mine is looking for me.
You have to know what road to take to get to your final destination.
Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Okay, we back. Y'all really do love me. Y'all do. Y'all love me. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but that happened when I was trying to do my Agenda 2030 video. I don't know what's going on. And then, you know what's so crazy? So before I even started this live, the first one, not this one, my coffee exploded. I had like coffee beans just go everywhere. And then my sugar-free pancake syrup, it fell out of the pantry. It just splattered everywhere. I had to clean it up. Is something going on? Because I'm like, damn, what the hell? This a mess. Okay, so let me redo the whole intro again. So join me tonight for the workshop, the Money Manifestation Workshop. It's 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, we're doing our fall harvest Money Manifestation Workshop. If you are interested in spiritual content where I teach you how to do hoodoo or root work, then you should join me on Patreon. If you're not interested in anything spiritual at all that I'm into, then YouTube members get you access to the conspiracy theory content that I'm getting into, or just videos that I don't feel comfortable leaving public. If you're not into anything spiritual. If you are into the spiritual things, then join me on Patreon. So I have a $7 tier and I have a $15 tier. The $7 tier gets you access to Discord. And unfortunately, to my YouTube members, you won't get access to Discord because we do spiritual stuff on Discord. And I want it to be a safe space for everyone. And I don't want to impose or force anything on you that you don't agree with or you feel like it's not for you. So I keep these things separated on purpose. It's not a money grab. It's simply to respect each space for what it serves for. So YouTube members, you get access to all of the conspiracy theory content that I've been getting into. The next video that I'm getting into are farmers. And then when it comes to Patreon, $7 tier, you get access to Discord, readings, any spiritual content, collective messages that I like to do on there, you will get access to that. Now, if you subscribe to the $15 tier, you get access to the workshops. So we have a workshop that is taking place today, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come join us. We would love to have you. All right. So now that we got all of that out the way, I wanted to talk about this trend that is currently taking place on social media. There are women coming online saying that they're ugly and they're mid. And it's throwing people off because we're looking at these girls and we're like, you're not ugly, you're not mid. You may be lazy or you may be depressed, but you're not ugly. Or the last thing is, you may not be the type of woman that wants to put in the effort to get the outcome that you're desiring. You're not willing to put in the level of work that is required for the things that you are desiring. And that's when you need to take time out for yourself and figure out, what do you want? Because a lot of you want shallow things. A lot of you want to get shallow things. You desire shallow things, but then you don't want to subscribe to what it takes to get it, which is to be shallow. Then some of you are imposing these unrealistic standards of beauty and you're putting it on yourself. You're internalizing it too, and you're calling yourself ugly and mid. And we want you to stop. We want you to stop coming on social media doing that because we don't like seeing it. First of all, you're in an illusion because you are trying to subscribe to shallow standards. And so when we look at a woman and we're looking at her and she's calling herself ugly and mid, and we're like, but you're not ugly. You're not. You may be lazy. You may be depressed. or your standard of beauty is shallow. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of the two. It's one of the three. Then I'm here to tell all women. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what your size is, what your weight is, the color of your skin is. No woman in society will ever be able to meet the beauty standards, because a lot of it is based off of illusions. It's not natural beauty. Then a lot of you will never be able to meet the standard because you age. No one is beating aging. I don't know no woman out here that's actually beating aging. Pamela Anderson, she is a woman that was desired. She was the standard of beauty at one point until she started to age. So now this is a woman that walks the red carpet and she doesn't wear makeup. Like, she doesn't subscribe to the standards of beauty anymore naturally, right? Because she's an older white Caucasian woman. So no woman in society will ever amount to that standard because we age. That is the truth. Then, as a decentered woman, this is coming from a decentered woman. I am self-centered as fuck. I'm so self-centered that I would never call another woman ugly. I'm too self-centered for that. So with me saying that, a lot of you pick up these standards and how you label a woman ugly from men. You only think that you're mid and ugly because of men. And I'm not holding your hand when I say this. I'm pulling you and I'm shaking you. You only think you're ugly because of men. And that is disgusting. This is why I'm so passionate about this conversation, because the standards that have been placed on you by white men. Let's start with them first. Then the enforcers have been black men, Asian men, and Hispanic men. And you know what you're doing? You're reinforcing it on yourself. Disgusting. And I'm disappointed in you. You're reinforcing it. So the only reason these women really think that they're ugly and they're mid is because of men. And then when we have these conversations, this is why I had to walk away from decentering men, like the label, the trend, and all of that bullshit in between. Even though I am a decentered woman because I'm self-centered as fuck, I had to walk away from it because I really don't think women truly understand the psychological depth of truly decentering men. Because ugly women came from men. This was not something that we created on our own. We didn't even create the rules. They did. And you're reinforcing it. You're imposing it on yourself. And then you want us to rally up behind you and be like, yeah, sis, you are mid. And we're literally telling you to love yourself more because that's just the truth. Because a woman that loves herself would think more highly of herself. You think low of yourself, you call yourself ugly because of a man. That is pathetic. Let's get into this, because I'm not gonna be nice about it, because you try to be nice about it and they'll be like, oh, you're lying. You're not telling me the truth. You're just telling me what I want to hear. No, this is the truth. You only think you're ugly because of men. Men created the standard of what ugly is in women. And you know what's so interesting about this? We didn't create the standard in what makes an ugly man. Because when you look out into the world, men are being loved. They are. Bald, old, shriveled up. Hell, some of them can be bisexual and still be loved. But when it comes to women, there are all of these requirements and expectations and standards. And then if you don't meet them, right, then something wrong with you. We got to break away from that. So let's get into this. I hope, let me know if y'all can hear the audio, because let me know. Oh my gosh. We still put them on a pedestal even when it comes to how we view ourselves. I don't think women understand how deep it goes. But let me pull this up. I'm tired of seeing it. And then men change their mind every 3 to 5 business days. It's just not practical at all. Okay, let me know if you can hear it, please. And thank you. So we don't have the same issue like we did the last time.
Ugly Girl Uprising. And basically what that means is there were several young women, usually women of color, black women, who came online and said, hey, I'm ugly. I'm ugly and I know I'm ugly. One woman even made a video where she specifically asked for men out there who don't mind dating ugly women. She is accepting that she is ugly and she just wants to know what's next. The fact that I'm ugly is not going to change. So who's into it? Because I will admit, as a woman, sometimes I have heard people say, I like my man a little ugly. I like me a medium ugly man. You know, I've heard people say that. I can't relate. That's not what I like. But I'm sure that she was trying to figure out, are there any men who feel that way? And I want to say this, if she didn't frame it that way, I think it would have been just another interesting like video essay, you know, conversation, how important are looks when it comes to what men are looking for versus how important they are to women, because women have said a lot, like I just said, that looks aren't that important. I'm not one of those women. But I think it would have just been another conversation. But the fact that she threw herself so far under the bus,
oh my God,
obviously raised people's eyebrows, and people did what they normally do. They went in her comment section, you're not ugly, you're not ugly. And they, you know, tried to get her to change her mind. I will say, when I first looked at her, I immediately thought, no, this is not ugly. To me, this person just needs some moisturizer in their hair and they need a hyperpigmentation routine for their skin. That's what I saw. But I would never.
I thought I was crazy. And that's why I said a lot of you, because I made a TikTok video. If you don't follow me on TikTok, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I've been getting into these conversations online. And I'm seeing these women come online looking crusty. And I'm like, girl, you are not ugly. You are lazy. You are lazy. You over here asking us about, or no, you're asking men about if they're into mid to ugly women. And then you came online with your hair just not done, not moisturized. It don't even look like you washed your face. It just looked like she rolled out of bed and was like, yeah, let me get on TikTok and ask them. And then, ladies, wearing color can enhance your beauty. I mean, it's just no effort at all. And so I'm just like, and then you have women like Shalom Black. Okay, this is how I know a lot of y'all are lazy. Shalom Black is a black woman. She's a content creator who was a child burn victim. She escaped from a house fire in her childhood. So her body is covered in burns, right? And this is a woman who is beautiful. She is gorgeous. Now, I'm pretty sure she had struggles earlier within her childhood where she probably didn't feel as beautiful, or she questioned her beauty. I think all women go through a phase of that. So let me pull her up so you know who I'm talking about, right? She's beating all the odds. This is a woman that has burns that cover her entire body. You over here, on the other hand, are just lazy. You put in no effort when it comes to yourself at all. And so what I want women to understand is when you take on this mindset, right, where you really think you're ugly and you're mid, and then there's another woman, just know there's another woman out there worse off than you that doesn't feel that way about herself. You do. There's a woman out there with similar issues, skin problems, whatever the case may be, hair loss, whatever the case may be. Yet she still doesn't feel that way about herself. You do. Why is that? So I'm just going to give you an example.
This a reminder.
But this is a woman that puts in effort. And then she doesn't always put in effort. Like, she's not always in glam, right? But I believe that she does this to make herself feel good about herself. This is another one.
You love silk and you love a robe and you love a little bit of drama.
And I also want to add too, when I say effort, I'm not talking about performative femininity. We all know performative femininity is rooted right back to centering men. I'm simply talking about, do you do things? Do you put in effort for yourself? You're not thinking about anybody else. You're thinking about, what can I do today? What effort can I put into myself today that's going to make me feel good? The only time I literally hear women talk about what effort they're going to put into themselves is all because of a man. So when we say effort, I'm not talking about performative femininity bullshit. I'm not telling you to play a character, an insufferable character. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying, what effort have you done to pour into yourself today to make yourself feel good about yourself? That's what I'm saying. This is how she's choosing to do it. Does it have to look exactly like her? No. What works for one woman may not work for you.
I love this. Do you see this? This is from a Nigerian brand called Loveland, and they actually gifted me this when I was in Nigeria with few more colors, and I love the double linings.
And I also want to point out too, you can always tell when a woman puts in effort, she pours into herself, like her inner beauty, because there's this glow that radiates off of her. It's like this inner glow, and then it's like just bouncing off of her. You can see it on her. So when y'all come on here ashy and just not moisturized, I'm just like, I could tell you don't put no work into yourself. You don't work on your confidence. You don't work on your self-esteem. You don't know yourself. You don't know your identity. You put no work into yourself about what looks good on you, what doesn't look good on you. You literally just rolled out of bed and you're like, hey, who's willing to accept me? And you're going to attract the worst type of people too. Especially when you make it about them and you're not making it about yourself.
Come on. Rich black woman. Like, oh. And I also have
that was cute. That cream.
Green
That was cute.
feather. I mean, this is stunning. It does have the green slip.
Yes, you can see it.
And then
and she's fully covered.
So you can either tie this on your head or just.
That's cute. I love the sleeves on that. That is really cute.
Garden, stop, please. I beg of you.
I think she's talking to her child in the back. Y'all know. Okay, let me show you this other one. So I don't subscribe to these things.
We are at the Griffin's Park train ride for Garden's second birthday, but I wanted to quickly show you guys what I am wearing to the park. So my top is from Tank Air, the skirt is from White Project, so are the shoes
are cute.
Melissa. My bag is from Coach, of course. The jewelry and the bangle are from Zara. The glasses is from Love. And yeah, this is what we are wearing to the park. I'm so happy my baby is cute. That's insane. Yeah, come on, let's go.
So I'm not crazy, right? I'm not crazy because I'm just looking. So let's get into the videos. Let's just get into the videos because I'm just like, and we're talking to women that have this defeated mindset. What if Shalom was the type of woman that had a defeated mindset because she was a burn victim as a child? She lost everything in this house fire, but she still has her life. I just don't understand it. Like, All she did was put in effort. Now, do you have to put in as much effort? It depends on what you're desiring. That's another thing. Like, who are you? I think a lot of this has to do with lack of self-identity. You don't know who you are. So you don't even know where to start. You don't know where to begin. You don't even know how to pour into yourself. You don't know what you need, but you sit up on social media and you're asking people about what do men want and what do they like. And you yourself don't even know what you like, what you need in order to make yourself feel better. Oh, exactly. She would have never made her YouTube. She would have never put herself out here. She wouldn't have gotten the brand deals that she's got. She wouldn't have been able to make a living off of this. That's what I'm saying. I don't subscribe to this. So let's get into the video.
There's a video of a woman who is definitely not objectively attractive, just keeping it real, asking where are the men that like ugly women. I guess I'll show it now.
So I have a question. And this is gonna sound so bad, but like, this is something I've been wondering for a really long time. Where are the men that like mid-looking black women? I like all flavors of the rainbow. I don't care like your ethnicity or anything. This is low-key an experiment. I'm trying to prove somebody wrong. Because yes, most black women are drop-dead gorgeous, but then there's black women that look like me that aren't drop-dead gorgeous.
And then y'all, this lady she didn't just throw herself under the bus. This is when I got mad, because I was like, wait a minute, girl, you got me messed up. So she didn't just make it about herself. She made it about all black women that look like her. And you're telling me that this is not about low self-esteem? You're telling me that this is not about her not embracing her black features?
We still need love though. I've been single for 16 years. 16 fucking years, you guys.
And then she's wanting love, but she didn't even give it to herself. I want to say this. I'm gonna have to come back. Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up this video right here. Okay. I need women to understand that when I look at a past version of myself, I love her very deeply, because that past version of myself created this version of myself. Okay? So when I say I love her, there's this embrace. There's this, I'm hugging this past version of myself. She believed in the potential that I am currently sitting in right now. And a lot of you are either sitting in this self-pity, victimhood illusion, thinking that this is all it is and this is all she wrote. And I'm referring to yourself. So what if I took on your mindset? I'm just ugly. I'm just mid. And at this time, I didn't put in any effort into myself. I'm just being honest with you. I put in the bare minimum. I remember around this time, I had these black yoga pants from Old Navy, and I would just wear them like every 2 to 3 days, because that was the only thing that I felt comfortable in. Literally, I stayed in these yoga pants. Stayed in them. And even with me going through this phase in my life, I still believed in my potential. I still believed in it, even though I couldn't see it. Because I ended up gaining more weight. So that was before. Then I gained more weight. I was depressed. So I'm going to ask you this. Some of you, it could just be you're lazy. You're just flat out lazy. Or you may be depressed. Or, because we're going to get into the third reason. The third reason could be you have shallow expectations. So you internalize this shallowness, and look what it does to yourself. It makes you feel like shit. Let's just be real. You want to blame men and you want to talk about, oh, they're constantly moving the goalposts because you believe in the goalposts. You care about what men want and what they think. Men at one point, they wanted BBLs. Men at one point, they wanted you to look like this and to look like that. And now they changed their mind. So now what? And you were subscribing to the goalposts. Nobody told you to do that. Because it's a choice. You literally have a choice. You don't have to subscribe to these goalposts and these measuring sticks. You don't have to subscribe to that. But you're choosing to. You're making a choice. Then, let me go here. Came up out of it. Okay. This is when I was 16 years old. I didn't put in any effort. Outside of my hair, that's the only thing that I actually did. And it was because I didn't know nothing about makeup. I was a tomboy. I didn't know shit about makeup. I didn't know nothing about how to really dress or any of that. This was probably my most awkward phase was when I was around 16, 17 years old. I'm wearing a t-shirt and some jeans. That was my go-to. And then out of t-shirts, and that was me dressing up. Like me wearing a t-shirt and jeans, that was me dressing up. And then when I would dress down, I would be in basketball shorts and sweats. But around that time, I put in like very minimum effort. Very minimum effort. And then I would be friends with girls that literally would wake up at like 5:30. Hell, I rolled out of bed. They would wake up at like 5:30 in the morning to get ready for school. I wasn't doing that. I was rolling up out of bed. I'm not getting up early because I'm one of them kids. I love to sleep. I'm going to sleep in. So not only does it take effort, but it takes discipline. It takes consistency. Them girls was waking up. They was beating their face. Some of them. They was doing their hair. I wasn't about to do all of that. So again, like this comes down to identity, your desires matching your efforts. And I think a lot of women are confused. Like if you want a shallow lifestyle, then it's going to require you to show up in a shallow vessel. I'm just being honest with you. Your hair has to be laid. That's why when you look at these content creators like the Sprinkle lady Share 7, you listen to Ashley Dalton on YouTube, right? You're wanting a rich man, right? That's a very shallow desire, but that's what you're wanting. So it's going to require you to be shallow. It's going to require you to show up shallow. But if you feel like that's doing too much. So what do you want? Do you really want the shallow desire? Because it's sounding like you're caught in between. Like you're like, but I don't want to do what it takes. So if you don't want to do what it takes, then that means you don't really want it then. There are women that really want it and they're willing to do what it takes. So some of this has to do with confusion and choice. Either you're going to conform or you're not. And if you don't want to conform, then you don't have to conform. So when I listen to Share 7 and I listen to Ashley Dalton, I understand that the reason why they're giving you that advice is because of what you're wanting. It's because of what you're desiring. So they're giving you real advice. But if you don't want to subscribe to a shallow lifestyle, then you wouldn't take their advice. That's just me being real. I think a lot of you are confused. I think a lot of women are confused. That is what this is. So you don't know what you really want. You think you do. And then the ones that think they do, you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. So you're just a victim. You're just ugly and you're just mid. And then when women try to tell you you're not, when women try to tell you you're not, women like myself, we try to tell you you're not, because you're really not. You are like, no. You fight us. So I'm just like, at this point, if women want to call themselves ugly, I'm going to just let you call yourself ugly. I'm not going to fight you on that. That's your self-belief. That's how you feel about yourself. That's cool. So again, I think this has a lot to do with women just don't know what they want. I knew for me, It wasn't a man that I wanted. I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel confident. I wanted to know myself. Because I didn't just lose weight. I didn't just put in effort to look better. I wanted to actually know, I wanted to know who I was. And the only way that you could truly be comfortable in your skin, self-identity. There's no way around it. Self-identity. That is the only way you're going to feel good in your skin. It's not makeup. It's not hair. It's not weave. It's not a BBL. It's not plastic surgery. It's not any of that. It's self-identity. If you feel foreign in your body, you feel like, oh, I need to change this to make yourself feel better. You can go make all those changes and you can lose the weight. You can do all of that stuff. And you still going to be stuck at square one because you don't know yourself. So you're going to continue to feel awkward in your body. It doesn't matter how you choose to manipulate it. Okay, so let me go back. Because a lot of women think the answer is manipulating themselves. No, that's what men have convinced you to do. But no. It's not about manipulating yourself. It's about finding yourself.
There's a video of a woman who is...
So let me go back. It was like 50 minutes in.
This is going to be the woman that's going to get married. And I'm going to explain to you why this is a woman that is going to get married.
Now listen, I think her name is Queen Sovereign. I think that's her name. Now listen, she's an ex-sex worker. I think she used to work in the strip club or something like that. I trust her. Okay? If you know, you know. If you're going to listen to a woman about a man, she needs to be either a sex worker or an ex-sex worker. I'm just being honest with you. Now, when you want advice about marriage, just marriage, not men, in marriage, just marriage, then you go talk to a married woman. But when you want advice on men, then you go talk to a sex worker or an ex-sex worker. Know the difference. Because I didn't know the difference. Now I do. Okay, I had to bump my head a little bit. When you want to learn about men, you want to know about men, you have to talk to women that have been in male-dominated spaces. Right? And then when you want to talk to a woman about marriage, then you have to go talk to a woman that's been married for years too. I say a decade at least. That woman can tell you a lot. So know who to go to for advice. You can't go to just anyone for advice. So sex workers, they're very well versed on men. And then married women, when it just comes to marriage, not men in marriage, just marriage, then you go talk to a married woman.
There are men, especially in times like this, that are on the hunt, that are on the prowl, looking for women that not only look like her, but have the same mindset as her. Women that are ugly, or women that actually believe that they are ugly, or women that really can get out of their ugliness, because I truly do believe that women, no matter how you look now as a woman, you can always improve your looks. You may not turn into a 10, but you most certainly can look better than how you look now. Wherever a woman falls on the ugliness spectrum, she is going to be looking for a man to cure her ugliness. Because she doesn't want to cure her ugliness. She doesn't want to level up. She doesn't want to do what's necessary. And men are very well aware of this. Men understand that for every woman that is ugly, there is a man out there that understands that an ugly woman is usually going to be a useful woman. And I'm not making this up. I have heard this from men repeatedly. Men don't believe that there are any women that are outside of their league because the patriarchy pumps their ego up so much. It is not until they get old, they end up not having a whole lot of money, that they're humbled back down to earth, where they realize that they're an average man competing with other average men to get a woman that is outside of their league, and it's not going to happen, that they realize that, well, because I can't get the woman that I want, or because I can't get the woman that I want and make her be useful to me, because When a beautiful woman has a high self-esteem, she's not useful to a man. But a woman who is not only unattractive, but she also has a low self-esteem is very useful to a man. Because it's a very easy way for a woman to hijack the work required for her to work on herself. And I seen a creator make a video talk about this. How essentially there are women who purposely rest on the fact that they are attractive because they feel as though they're hijacking their way to be able to get a man by not feeding into the politics of the beauty standard or how superficial women that care about their beauty must be to be able to fit the male gaze. Because these women actually believe that if I say ugly, then I don't have to worry about a man being with me for only how I look. But there's never going to be a man that's not going to be with you, that's not going to make sure that he is benefiting in some way. And I've heard it from men time and time again. The unattractive women, the very overweight women, they're going to do the most because they understand that they are inadequate in their beauty and in their looks. So they will go out of their way to be useful to a man because they understand that they don't have the beauty to compete with other women. So they must make themselves useful in some other way.
And listen, she's giving you advice based off of her perspective and opinion is strictly coming from the fact that this woman asked about men. This is about men. This is not even about herself. She views herself the way that she does because of men. That's it. So she's responding to the woman in the way based off of how she addressed and asked us for advice. So keep that in mind.
This is why a lot of the time the pygmishas, in my opinion, the pygmishas don't look like nothing. And they don't try to look like nothing. Like, I want to make that very clear. It's not like these women don't have the capability to beautify themselves. How that woman looks, she got hyperpigmentation. That can work. It looks like she has some scarring on her forehead. I don't know if it's from an acne or burns or anything like that. She could fix that. Her hair, she could fix that. And it's clear that she's already stressed. She's got moon phase. Her cortisol is already through the roof. So I already know that other things are going on with her mentally and internally. The last thing that this woman should be focused on is a fucking man. And then these are the same women who they think that their ugliness is going to get them a man that's going to treat them better. They feel as though their ugliness is going to benefit them in a way in which they're dealing with a man that likes them on a deep level, since she doesn't have the beauty to bring that a lot of other women are able to. And
I also want to add to Destiny's point down here, because it's crazy how everything is about getting a man. But I'm gonna tell you, as someone that started working on myself when I was 19 years old, went through a lot of ups and downs along the way. I'm 33 now, and I'm gonna tell you right now that if I would have done it for a man, I would have been fell off. If I would have did it for surface level, shallow reasons, like me losing weight, me improving my appearance and all of that. If I would have did it for a man, I would have been fell off. Men are disappointing. That's just me being honest with you. So all it would have taken was a bad experience with a man, and I would have fell off. I'm just being honest with you. So if you're wanting to make men your motivation, you're going to eventually fall off with that. All he got to do is disappoint you, dog you out, do some weird shit behind your back or some shit, and you're going to be back at square one. Do not do it for shallow reasons. And honestly, there are girls that I started with, and I think that may have been the reason they gained weight back, was because they were doing it for shallow reasons. They didn't do it for themselves. They did it for outside validation. They did it for the approval and the desire of men. So I'm telling you, because I've gone through a lot. I've been in a toxic relationship since then. Like, let me go here. Hold on, let me show you, because in this video, I'm gonna tell you probably this photo right here. Let me go back. Let me see. Right here. Right here, I was in a toxic relationship. I was in a very toxic relationship, emotionally abusive toxic relationship. If I was going to fall off, it would have happened right here. So you want to make it about men, that's cool. But I'm telling you, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be highly disappointed.
There's a video of...
I wouldn't make it about that man. You're going to be so disappointed. You better make it about yourself. Because even after that relationship, I had to pick myself back up. And what if the motivation would have been the man, right? But the relationship had to end because it was toxic. I had to pick myself back up after that relationship. If I would have made it about the man, but I lost the man, right? Then I wouldn't have picked myself back up. I wouldn't have picked myself back up to keep going and moving forward. So I'm telling you now, don't make it about a man. You're going to be disappointed as hell. Better make it about yourself.
And there is a man out there ready to exploit that mindset. Because they understand that your self-esteem is so low, you're going to put up with any and everything. Because you don't have the highest level of status that you could have as a woman deemed by society, which is beauty. The number one expectation for women is for women to be beautiful. That is the number one expectation for women. And when women fall short of that, they have to use the second most needed status that is deemed as like a stamp of approval by other people, which is how adjacent you are to a male, either through a relationship or through a marriage. Women that care about their beauty understand that in the long term, you cannot have your beauty go as far by even dealing with a man long term, by actually being in a relationship with a man and by being married to a man.
She's speaking facts. Ooh, I also wanted to talk about this, right? Because I said that some of you, you're not lazy, you're depressed, right? And depression is real. Mental health struggles are real, especially right now, okay? And you want to know what has kept my motivation? My potential. I see how women get in relationships with men that have so much potential, but they're not living up to it. And they get so excited to the point where they start pushing them, right? And men take that as nagging. But it's because you're pushing them because you see their potential. Why are you not pushing yourself? People have always asked me, Yoni, I don't get it. How do you stay motivated? How do you keep going? My potential. My potential. Seriously, my potential. Like I want to see myself at that level of potential. This vision that I have in my mind. I see this woman in my mind. That's me, my future self. I see her. And I'm like, I know that can be me. I know that's me. Because why would God give me that vision of myself? So my motivation is I got to see it through. Like I really got to see it through. There's no way that God would give me this vision of myself, of what I could be, who I am, right? And then I not measure up to that. So my motivation has always been my potential, not a man's potential, not the potential that my parents want me to live up to, the potential and vision that God gave me. So that's what we stand strong to. Like that's what we're staying focused on. Like my focus is just on that. It's not on all of these external things. And one thing I've learned about being like this and seeing this vision, right, is like when you're fulfilling your potential and you're maximizing your potential, all of these other desires tend to be attracted to you. That's what they don't tell you. See, your focus is wrong. You want to focus on the outside and not on the inside. If you would focus on the inside, these things that you naturally have a desire for come to you. You don't have to chase it. But you don't want to stay focused on yourself long enough to see that that is possible for you. That you could just focus on yourself and just be so focused on living out the potential and maximizing your potential that you can't even understand that these things would just gravitate towards you. Everything just zoom. That's the power of a woman. That's part of your birthright. Things are going to just come to you. But you won't focus on yourself long enough to see that. So let's continue.
There are only so many places that one man can take you with your own beauty. There are a lot of places that you can go independently using your own beauty. So when you don't have beauty and you're not trying to work your way towards having more beauty and you rely on a man, that means that you're coming with no leg to stand on. The only leg that you have to stand on is a fucking man. And there is no guarantee that you are going to be able to have that forever. Because isn't this what men say about beauty? Well, you're not going to be beautiful forever, and there's no guarantee that a man is going to be faithful to you forever. There is no guarantee that a man is going to financially invest in you forever. There is no guarantee either way. But what you can do is you can make a way for yourself while you have beauty that can stretch you far beyond the time of you being in a relationship in one with a man. That's the reason why beauty standards exist in the first place. Because one beauty standard can be monetized and used from women in different ways based off of their mindset. There are women that like the beauty standard and go after the beauty standard because they want a man. There are women that go after the beauty standard because they understand it's going to earn them more money in whatever industry that they're in. When I was a stripper, women would get BBLs and get breast implants because they understood that they could earn more money. They weren't thinking about getting a man to like them or getting a man to marry them. They just understood that this is what men pay for and I care about how much income I'm going to earn, so this is what I am going to do. And then you have the women look at the beauty standard, understand that they don't fit the beauty standard, nor do they want to do anything to fit the beauty standard. And so they look at it as a way of, well, you want to know what? I don't fit the beauty standard, and so I'm going to have a low self-esteem and be self-loathing. Men love that shit because they understand that they can exploit them. They can exploit you through that.
And that's why when you get into a relationship with some of these men, what do? They go in to attack your self-esteem so that you don't think highly of yourself. Because if you think highly of yourself, that makes them insecure. It's kind of like that girlfriend that you was cool with when she knew you thought less of yourself or low of yourself, and then you started working on yourself, you started bettering yourself, and then you started thinking more highly, and then that made her insecure. It's the same damn thing, y'all. And also, my Patreon, there's a link in my description box. I know there's a lot of stuff going on there in the description box, but it's intentional and it's with a purpose. So the Patreon link is always in my description box under my videos, okay? There's also a link on my community tab as well. But I need people to understand there's no way that you can really say that you love yourself when you think so low of yourself. No way. Because when you're in love or when you experience love and you give your love to another person, you tend to put them on a pedestal when you do that. So when you say, oh, I'm not this and I'm not that, there's no way that you have self-love. No way. And then these are things that I'm noticing. Women are so quick to believe in the potential when it comes to men. They're so quick to love men unconditionally, but you don't love yourself unconditionally. You believe in a man's potential before you believe in your own potential. Everything is about centering men. So when I said I was self-centered, I'm referring to the fact that I believe in my own potential. I'm not concerned about other people's potentials out here. I'm concerned about mine. I'm concerned about maximizing mine. I'm not concerned about living up to the standards of my parents, living up to the standards of men, living up to the standards of society, living up to the standards of status and classism and all of that bullshit. I'm only concerned with myself. I'm very self-centered. So a lot of women do not understand that, but you're willing to feed into all of these different things outside of yourself. I'm watching this show on Netflix. It's called Poldark. And there's a woman on this show where her husband ended up dying, left her in financial ruin. And this was an era in time where women couldn't do anything for themselves financially. They had to have a man come in and look over their finances. So her husband, her late husband, where she became a widow, left her in financial ruin. The only way that she could come out of that was she had to marry again. She ended up marrying a man that was considered to be an enemy of her late husband. But that was her only choice and option. She didn't have no other choices and option. I'm seeing women run right back to that era, run back to that lifestyle. You don't want to be independent. Why? Women literally escaped that lifestyle for a reason. It was purposeful. It was intentional. It wasn't because they wanted to work. It was because they wanted independence. They wanted freedom. So she ended up marrying her husband's enemy because she didn't have a choice. And what do you think is starting to happen to her? She's now feeling the need to drink. She's feeling the need to self-medicate because she's married to a man that she doesn't like. She's married to a man that doesn't like her son that she birthed from her previous marriage with her late husband. So she had to remarry. And now her current husband is wanting to send her son off to boarding school because he doesn't like how he's around. Y'all need to wake up. I don't know why women are wanting to run right back into financial abuse. I don't understand it. I don't. Why are you wanting to run right back into financial abuse? Those women barely escape with their lives. And I'm not even saying that to sound over dramatic. Like, I'm literally saying those women literally escape that lifestyle barely with their lives.
It is a very, very easy way to exploit you because all they have to do is say, I don't care about those beauty standards. You look better than those women. I like your natural beauty. This is the reason why they're always trying to say, we want a woman that's naturally beautiful. We like natural beauty. Of course they like natural beauty. It's easier for them to exploit someone that does not fit that type of standard because they understand that that woman that is fitting that standard, she has other ways for her to be able to make money and get attention to the point where she doesn't have to rely on being in a relationship. She doesn't have to rely on being married to someone. This is why men hate Lori Harvey. They hate Lori Harvey because Lori Harvey is of high standard when it comes to her beauty. And she understands the fact that I'm beautiful and I have opportunities set upon me and I don't need to be 100% tied down to someone in order for me to get said opportunities. Lori Harvey understands that her notoriety...
And one thing I want to point out, she's speaking facts because in the show that I'm referring to, right? Poldark on Netflix, the new husband that she married, he impregnated her for control. And you'll see it. Like, honestly, a lot of you need to go watch that show so you can see how a lot of men have the mentality that they have and they want things to go back to that traditional era because they had more control. Women did not have any real autonomy or independence over their choices, their lives, their identity, how they dress. You have these choices and you're not choosing to weigh out these choices. You're wanting to subscribe to the traditional life that those women hated. They literally hated it. And that's what you're wanting to subscribe to. And that's the choice that you're making. When those women wanted the choices that you have today. It's crazy. Like, I'm not understanding. It's so backwards.
Mostly comes from the fact that she is a highly attractive woman.
For real.
She also understands that by using that attractiveness with one man is going to make it harder for her to further monetize off of her level of attractiveness.
It's crazy. Okay, let me continue. So then there's that one. Okay, this one too.
Are the men that like mid-looking black women.
I will never understand why people care about how somebody looks more than they do. Why are y'all mad at her for calling herself ugly? Since when is being, like, self-aware a bad thing? Since when is recognizing where you stand a bad thing?
I want to point out that I don't believe that this woman is self-aware. Because if she was self-aware, then she would understand and know that beauty takes effort. Wherever beauty exists, it took effort. And in some cases, it took pain. Because the beauty in which we're referring to is not natural beauty. It's not. It's not. That's not the standard of beauty in society. Natural beauty is not the standard of beauty in society. So she does not have self-awareness. If she did, then she would know that. And if she did have really good self-awareness, she wouldn't be comparing herself to that standard and expectation because it's not realistic. So I don't consider her referring to herself as ugly as self-awareness at all. At all. I see it as low self-esteem.
Before I continue, no, I am not calling her ugly. No, I am not calling myself better looking than her. You can have that opinion if you want. But that said, I know where I stand on, like, looks-wise. I see myself in the mirror every single day. I know what I look like. Even with that, I still have a boyfriend who is talking about proposing to me next year. It is like...
And then too, right? Like her measuring stick is the fact that her boyfriend is potentially going to propose to her next year. But sis, so if you didn't have the boyfriend, then where would you stand with yourself? It always goes back to that man, I'm telling you.
You are allowed to think of yourself as ugly or not pretty and be confident about it and want a boyfriend. Like, people are saying she needs to love herself before she can have a boyfriend because then she'll be easily manipulated. You don't know that. And why?
And then this is another thing too. Women who argue about when we say you need to love yourself more, when you take issue with that, you don't love yourself. Because if someone told me, oh, you can love yourself more, I'm excited. Like, what? What? Because the way y'all love these men more and 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 more, and then they keep showing you they don't really like you for real. They don't really fuck with you like that. And you keep giving them love, 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 love. And then you turn your nose up at us when we be like, you can love yourself more. And you do this. But that man dogged your ass out. Dragged you. And you're like, self-love. Make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. The way y'all are willing to overextend to things outside of yourself, but you're not willing to make those same choices to pour into yourself needs to be studied. Like, that needs to be a case study. You're willing to jump through hula hoops. You're willing to jump off a cliff. You're willing to ruin your fucking life. But as soon as someone is like, pour into yourself, pour into myself, it makes no sense, y'all. It's so backwards. I don't understand. And then women fight us about it. And I'm just like, okay, but if we told you to tap dance to get that man, you would be tap dancing. You would be tap dancing. It's crazy. I don't understand why women don't center themselves enough to put in that effort. But when you center men, you're willing to go above and beyond. Make it make sense.
Just calling yourself ugly or mid, not loving yourself. That's just being honest with yourself. She didn't frame being ugly as a bad thing in that video. She just said that's what she is. Why do y'all care so bad about how she perceives herself?
That's crazy. Listen, let me tell you, these are the type of women you can't be friends with. They have low self-esteem. These are the type of women that will complain about their weight, complain about how they look, and do nothing to correct it, fix it, improve it, or anything like that. The only thing they want is to self-loathe, project self-pity, and victimhood mentality. And they want you to sit up and listen to them speak negatively about themselves as a friend. And I'm going to tell you right now, a real friend will never allow you to speak negatively and speak down about yourself like that in front of them. And if you have friends around you that sit around and listen to that mess day in and day out about how you think negative, oh, I'm not cute, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, she not your friend. That is a woman that takes pleasure in your misery. She gets a kick out of it. It makes her feel better about yourself. A real friend would never sit there. A friend that loves you and cares about you would never sit there and let you speak so negatively about yourself and speak down about yourself in front of them, because she doesn't see you that way. if she actually loves you. Because remember I said when you love someone, they tend to put you on a pedestal, or you tend to put them on a pedestal. That friend don't have you on a pedestal. If she can sit around and listen to you talk to yourself like that, she doesn't have you on a pedestal. That's not a real friend. Let me continue. It could be your mother too. Then there's this other woman. This was what was crazy to me.
Living in Atlanta is truly not for the weak. Let you be a black girl with old braids, no lashes, and no nails, babe. You get absolutely zero privileges. Atlanta is truly one of those cities where your beauty is your currency. A bouncer of any club will be your biggest op. And let me just say, the beauty standard in Atlanta, yes, it may vary, but it's really much Des Dior, Jada vibes. And if you do not fit that description of beauty in Atlanta, you really it's gonna be a little bit harder for guys to come up to you and stuff like that. I'm speaking.
I just wanna break this down and try to be as respectful as possible. Black women have this weird allegiance to ghetto, hood, rich aesthetics. I just gotta be honest with you. And then you think those are the only environments out here that exist. So here you are with this shallow mindset because the environments that you want to fit into, are the shallow, hood, rich, aesthetic environments. And then you're internalizing it because you don't fit into those spaces. I'm ugly. I'm mid. And this is why you hear black women say things like, go where you're loved, go where you're appreciated, because you feel like those are the only environments that you can go into. They're not. That's the environment that you're subjecting yourself to. And then the environment that you're subjecting yourself to is so shallow. It's so shallow. She talking about the club. I'm like, girl, a club in Atlanta, that's your measuring stick when it comes to your beauty, is a club in Atlanta. That's crazy. Okay.
From my experience, before any girl wants to be like, I don't have any problem, I don't have any. Good for you, okay? Good for you. I'm talking about myself. Seriously, guys, it is not for the freaking weak. It is not for the.
And then I'm gonna be honest with you. Those are the type of environments where, old braids, because it's so shallow, of course you can't wear old braids in spaces like that. Your hair gotta be laid. Full face, done. Heels. And I'm not talking about wedges. I'm not talking about the thicker heel. I'm talking about you gotta wear the little skinny 6-inch. You gotta wear a little bodycon dress. That's that environment though. That's not the world though. So maybe you need to travel. Maybe you need to get outside of Atlanta, because that's not the standard everywhere you go. And then part of the issue with women who have this mindset, you want to fit into those spaces. You just don't feel like you can. And it comes back to you don't want to put in the effort that these other girls are putting in to fit in that environment. That's all that is. You don't want to put in the effort. Some of it is plastic surgery. Why? Because that environment is that shallow. That's the environment, and it's very shallow. Then I'm looking at this girl, and I'm like, girl, you look so young. She is not ugly. She is not mid at all. At all. But this is another girl. Came online with a t-shirt. I don't even feel like her braids look that bad at all. And that's it. She just came on with a t-shirt. Put on a nice blouse. Put on a blouse, a colorful blouse that will enhance your beautiful skin. I don't understand it. And get out of these shallow environments that require you to think these negative things about yourself. And why do you want to sit at this table? Why do you want to sit at this table that requires you to be so shallow?
And this is coming from someone who's really confident, I would say, and things like that. But I would say I tend to pull certain men because for some reason they love the old braids, they love the old hair. But say I wanted someone else, No, babes, it's not happening. It's not. Your hair's old. You got no lashes on.
So is she wanting to attract a different type of man? That's what I feel like this comes down to lack of self-identity and being confused on what you're truly desiring. Because it's sounding like she desires what those women have, but she's not willing to put in the effort that those women put in. Like Jada Waiter, I think she gets her hair done like once a week. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting my hair done once a week. Then these are the type of women that pay professional makeup artists. Their maintenance monthly is very expensive. So it's like, are you willing to do all of that? It's sounding like you're not, but you still want what they have because you're comparing. So I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not.
I don't get it. They're making their worlds very small, like just very, very small. So let me continue. There's another one.
It's pretty girls in my comment section trying to convince me that being pretty is hard. And I am.
By the way, she's another one. She thinks she's ugly.
Honestly, I don't understand how being pretty is a punishment. But what I can talk about is how being ugly is a punishment or being unattractive. Okay? Ugly punishment is not being able to have confidence in yourself because people will snuff that out.
What?
Ugly punishment is having a man force himself on you and trying to tell people and being told, well, you're not attractive enough for that to happen to you. Ugly punishment is having standards while trying to date and being told, take whatever you can get because you're not pretty enough to have standards. Okay? So the women who are trying to convince me that being pretty has a downside, outside looking in, from what I'm seeing, you're allowed to have confidence, you're allowed to have standards, and you're allowed to act however way you want because you're pretty enough for it. So trying to convince somebody that's not pretty by society standards.
But listen, I'm not even laughing because I really don't think it's funny. I think it's sad. I don't think it's funny at all. I think it's sad. It's frustrating. This is a woman that is defeated. Like, she is in this victimhood mentality. She really thinks she's ugly. And then some of y'all are so young, you haven't even allowed yourself to grow up. You have not. Those pictures that I was showing you, I was in my early 20s. I'm 30 now. Some of you are not even allowing yourself the time to grow.
I know on a personal level, some people do find me pretty, but per society standards, I am not pretty. Trying to convince me y'all had a hard time being pretty, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It's just attention seeking, okay? And if being pretty was so hard, would you trade places with someone who was not pretty? Probably not, because you know you have.
I just want to say that I would never trade places with anybody. I love myself. I love myself. There are things that I've had to accept about myself that I cannot change. And I'm willing to deal with that. So I'm not going to trade places with the next woman because I know, just looking from the outside, that she may have things that she has to take on that she doesn't want to. We all do. We all do. There's always going to be a woman out there that feels like, oh, if I could do this, if I could change this, if I could change this. And I don't want to go through that again. I've accepted what I cannot change about myself. So for that, I don't want to trade places with any other woman. Period. I will never be skinny. That is something I've had to accept about myself. I have wide, flat feet. Those are things that I will never. Those are things I will never be able to change about myself. Every woman has these things. It's just there are women out here that refuse to accept them, whatever they are. And then there are women like myself that have accepted them. And we've moved forward. We've moved past that.
more to gain by being pretty than you have to lose. But that's all I wanted to say. I actually wanted to start a new term, ugly punishment. I know most women won't come online and admit that they're not attractive because being pretty is currency for women. And unfortunately, I don't have that currency. So I will admit I am not.
I just want to say that I believe that confidence is a bigger currency than physical appearance. Confidence can get you way further than just your looks. Believing in your potential and maximizing your potential can have you go way further than just your looks.
Not an attractive woman, but it's okay. That's life. It moves on.
But I can say that and women don't believe it. So I'm telling you, confidence will take you way further than just your appearance.
I saw a video on here and it was a woman talking about how she feels that she's mid and she was looking for guys to date that were attracted to non-traditional looking people, basically people you wouldn't consider conventionally attractive. And a lot of people are making videos about what was the purpose of her making this video. Is it a pity party? Because they couldn't see any other reason why somebody would make a video like this. And I just have to say, it just seems like the bitch is living in her truth, right? And the truth is what y'all say. Okay?
The truth is delusional. Because, and see, this woman right here, right? She's going to get into it, but she's a plus size black woman. Look at the effort that she has put into herself. She's married. Her truth is delusional.
Is what y'all say. Okay? And some people, I've been fat all my life, right? And I could choose two things. I could choose to stand and walk in confidence, hold my head up high, not let it bother me. Or I could just simply decide, you know what, I'm going to accept the fact that I am a fat piece of crap and get whatever treatment that people want to give me. People are going to talk to me any kind of way, whatever. That's really my only two options here. It seems like she is leaning into the option of she understands what it is that she's looking like, and based on society standards, she doesn't fit those standards. So she's just looking for somebody who is going to be willing to accept her. I know a lot of bigger women who do the same exact thing. They are not the beauty standard. Being big is not the beauty standard at all. So what they will tend to do is they will accept whoever says hello to them, whoever gives them a compliment, whoever is smiling in their face. And if you don't, then you just be, a big bitch who thinks she's too good for people. But it's just puzzling.
But I want to say this though too, that sometimes your truth can also be delusional. Because you can be in denial. I'll never forget when I was struggling with drinking, my truth was, I don't have a drinking problem. There's nothing wrong with me. And my truth was delusional as hell. And I actually believed that shit because I was in denial. So are you in denial with your truth? Are you in denial?
To me that y'all are trying to make it seem like everything is about pity. Like, no, y'all can call the girl ugly, or you can call, a girl fat, but when she comes on here and she says it, and hey, this is my truth and I'm working with what I got, then it's a problem. Like, I don't get that. Y'all gotta pick a lane and stay in it.
I said this earlier in my live and I'll say it again. I don't believe in calling women ugly. I don't. Because the standard starts with men. The standard was created by white men, then it was enforced by black men, Hispanic men, and Asian men. The enforcers, right? Then you have women that internalize the standard of what ugly women are, and they reinforce it on themselves. That is what that is. So it's frustrating. Like, I don't believe, when are we going to see women call men ugly? Because even y'all hype up medium, like I hear women say medium ugly, but y'all hype it up, right? Y'all hype it up like, oh, he's medium ugly, da da da. But he has potential. There's so much room for him to be attractive, though. So again, the standard of what ugly is was created by men. It was not created by women. Women are just the reinforcers of it. That's it. So that's why I get upset. That's why there's an impatience with me. Because if it wasn't for men creating the ugly woman standard of what that actually looks like, you wouldn't be referring to yourself as ugly. That's my point. You wouldn't do it. And then someone the other day said, if you decenter men, you decenter society, right? So if you decenter men, you decenter society. There are no societal standards that you are subscribing to. And this is what I'm saying. It's like women say one thing, but then they do the opposite. Women say they're for this, but then deep down they're not, because they're still struggling internally. So women are confused. Like, women are really, really confused. You say, oh, I'm 4B movement, I'm decentered men, this, I don't believe in performative femininity, but then you, on the low, still want to subscribe to it in a way. Because you keep reinforcing these things and you're imposing it on yourself. You're internalizing it. And then you get mad that we all don't feel the way that you do. I tried to warn y'all. I said there's going to be this natural divide among women. There's going to be this natural divide. It's going to be the women that did the shadow work, and then it's going to be the women that have yet to do the shadow work, have yet to reflect it, have yet to heal, have yet to do some introspection on why they have these feelings or why they have these truths. You have yet to do the work, and then you get mad at women that have done the work, and you try to make it seem like we're against you. We're not against you. We're not. You're against yourself because you haven't done the shadow work.
Where are the men that, like, men?
And she's about to get into how women tried to show her compassion. Women tried to show her empathy. And what do you think she did? Oh, let's get into it. Let's get into how do you think she responded to the women that came to her with care, came to her with compassion, came to her with empathy? How do you think she met those women? Oh, let's get into it.
Where are the men that, like, mid-looking black women? This is low-key an experiment. I'm trying to prove somebody wrong.
Women in the comment section were trying to hype her up and let her know that she's not ugly, but she's not having it. She fought everybody tooth and nail, letting them know, yes, I am. But with what she's saying and how she's saying it, she set herself up perfectly to be a victim of a raggedy man. Once a man realizes that a woman has low self-esteem, he's going to act as if he's doing you some kind of favor, and in exchange for that favor, he's going to want something. That could be your body, living with you rent-free, driving your car, taking your money. He's going to want to feel like he's being compensated for doing what he feels is a favor. So what if he cheats on you? What are you going to do? You already made it clear you can't find better. He doesn't have to pay any bills because you already made it clear you can't find better. He's going to put his hands on you because you already made it clear that you can't find better. He could do whatever he wants because you already made it clear that you can't find better. Doesn't matter what he looks like or what he brings to the table, he's still going to think that you're the one who's lucky because you said nobody wants you, but you know what? I do. And the hoops he's going to make you jump through. This has nothing to do with your looks and everything to do with your self-esteem, your confidence. You've given them the playbook. You've drawn the blueprint. You've told them exactly how they can play you. And they're listening. They're taking notes. And they will. This kind of vulnerability is best shared with a man who genuinely loves you and has proven his love for you. But in the wrong hands, it's begging to be exploited. Because that is the very thing they will use as an excuse to mistreat you and dog you out.
I just want to play this again. This is why women are frustrated. It's like, well, we tried to be compassionate and patient and empathetic, and they don't want to hear that. So then what else do you tell them? Because they actually believe that they are ugly. So it's like, even if you hype them up or they think that you're lying or you're just saying that. Okay.
Good-looking black woman. This is low-key an experiment. I'm trying to prove somebody wrong.
Women in the comment section were trying to hype her up and let her know that she's not ugly, but she's not having it. She fought everybody tooth and nail, letting them know, yes, I am.
So this is what I want to know. What would be your approach? Because one thing I've learned about women who have victimhood mentality, there's no getting to them. They want to stay where they are. There's not enough care. There's not enough empathy. There's nothing that you can give that woman. She has to pull herself out of that. So what advice, like what approach would you give her if she's literally fighting you on it?
In the comment section, we're trying to hype her up and let her know that she's not ugly, but she's not having it. She fought everybody tooth and nail, letting them know, yes, I am. With what she's...
This is crazy. That's why I'm just like, okay, okay.
And for that girl who said, where are the black men who are looking for mid-looking black women? Let me tell you one thing. If your self-esteem is already low, a man's gonna take it to hell.
And I just want to say, someone said, Boohoo Production said she wants it from a man. And you know what? A lot of women do. Do you not understand that when Kevin Samuels was alive, it was big business and women only wanted to listen to men, even though they were being degraded in the process? They still sought out their validation though, because they wanted to be validated by them. Even if it came to their low self-esteem, they wanted their low self-esteem to be validated. That is what this is. That's all this is. That's all this is. And then she even said it. It came right out of her mouth. She was like, I'm just trying to prove this to someone. So you need men to validate you on how you feel about yourself, to have proof to give to someone else. Did you not catch that? Let me pull it back.
Where are the men that like mid-looking black women? This is low-key an experiment. I'm trying to prove somebody wrong.
So she needed men to validate her so that she could prove someone else wrong. So she is coming at us and we're like, oh, that's not true. So then she can't get the validation. So she didn't want to listen to women at all. She wanted to see what men had to say. This is crazy. So let's continue, because I'm going to move on to this one. This is so true.
I really hate how society made having a man such a priority that women begin to move out of desperation. On no day should no woman be coming over here asking, oh, where are the men that like mid looking? Girl, what? Then it's not like motherfuckers be seeking a good man. Just any old man. The boy has been alone for so fucking long that men don't even have to do shit. They can just exist and use their private area. And it causes our women to believe that they don't play just as an important role as any man could in any way. If not more important. Baby, looks fast, but a genuine soul is forever. Like, it's so deeper than the surface, and I really blame the internet, because when the internet came about, everybody had these expectations that they felt like they had to reach because of other fucking people. I gotta stop glorifying these men for just being men. Half of these men is unhealed and unhinged. Why? Because cycles and desperate women has enabled the behavior, so they never had to heal the trauma. Nobody ever held them accountable for the fuck shit that be going on. I'm not to be biased, so it could be women as well. Like, all lust to the side. Like, y'all don't want nothing solid. Y'all don't want nothing healthy. Y'all don't want some shit that y'all ain't gotta heal from. If you on her asking what men like this, that, and the third, baby, you need to be looking within to see what you like about you. Because liking and loving you enough attracts anything in the room. I don't care how mid you think you looking, baby. You loving on yourself is a statement. And we be sitting out here wondering why real love seems like it doesn't exist, because it's being forced for all the wrong reasons. Like, it's so much other shit to do if a motherfucker ain't checking for you, like getting your shit together.
Women don't want to focus on themselves. They don't want to focus. They don't want to focus long enough on themselves. I don't get it. Like, how could you ever get bored with that? It makes no sense to me. Okay, let me show you this one. Because I'm telling you, no man that really finds you attractive would jump to you referring to yourself as mid and ugly unless he was abusive.
I don't know how y'all watched that woman's video past the first 5 seconds, because as soon as she asked, do men like ugly women, I scrolled so damn fast. One thing I do not like is when people come on the internet with low self-esteem, because I don't understand it. And maybe I'm not the person that should be talking about this, because, I mean, I've been conventionally attracted my entire life, considered handsome, whatever. So I don't really understand it. But y'all got to start, pouring into the children. Tell them that they're handsome, beautiful, can do everything, anything they put their mind to, this, that, and third. So they have some confidence as adults, because getting on the internet and asking, do men like ugly women? No.
And then it's not attractive. It's not attractive, ladies. It's just not. And then you are projecting your low self-esteem because you feel like you're not attractive. And then you wonder why you're not attracting. You wonder why you're not attracting. You think you're going to attract with referring to yourself as ugly and mid? You really want men to be like, oh, you're ugly, and be attracted to you? That's crazy. That's so crazy to me.
No, we can't make that a thing. It reminds me of a couple years back when women were like, yeah, I like medium ugly men. And the men would be like, yeah, I'm medium ugly. What's up? What the fuck? No. We need to move away from that. Everybody, even if somebody is ugly, because there are ugly people in the world, tell them they're not ugly.
I need y'all to understand that if I have pretty privilege, it's because I put in a lot of effort. A lot. You're comparing yourself to me when I put in like 10 years of effort, of discipline, of consistency. And see, that's the thing that I'm noticing. All of the women that came up and they spoke about this and that, right? And you are comparing yourself, because comparison is a thief of joy. You're comparing yourself to a woman that put in years of work. Years of work, years of working on herself. That's who you're comparing yourself to. How many years have you put into yourself? How many? Because it's women coming on this app, you can tell they haven't put any work in. And I'm not even talking about just looks. Y'all are stuck on looks. There's this thing called inner beauty. If you go to my vanity and you sit at my vanity desk, I don't have just makeup at my vanity desk. I have affirmations. I'm not there to sit at the vanity desk to manipulate myself into being beautiful. I'm enhancing what I've already internally worked on. I'm self-expressive. I'm creative. I'm having fun. It's not me going and sitting at my vanity to manipulate myself to feel beautiful. That's what women online teach you to do. That's not what I do when I sit at my vanity. I do a lot of inner work. I talk to myself in front of my vanity. I speak life into myself in front of my vanity. I don't just sit there and do makeup. So again, what work have you put into yourself? You're comparing yourself to women that have put in work. And that's why I said, you're not ugly, you're lazy. That's it, you're lazy. Or you may be depressed. One of the two. You could be struggling with mental health issues, like being burnt out. So you need to get to the bottom of it. But sitting up comparing yourself to other women like myself online, you don't know what it took for us to get to where we are today. Hell, I remember going to Aldi's after my workout with my fitness trainer, and I cried in my training session because I didn't want to do the shit. It was hard. It burned. It was painful. I had a knee injury. So you sit there and you want to self-loathe. That's what you want to do. That's your choice. But you got to understand that some of us were sitting exactly where you are, and we decided to do something about it. That's the only difference between me and you. We decided to get the fuck up and do something about it. You want to sit there and lay in bed rot, and look at other women online and wish and hope and compare yourself and wish that you had what they have. The rest of us have just been proactive. That's it. And we accepted things about ourselves that we cannot change. You refuse to do that. You refuse to accept things about yourself that you feel like you just have to change, but you can't change. Then you sat back and you watched a trend on social media. You watched women go out and get BBLs, lip fillers, face fillers. Some of them wore lace fronts day in and day out, lost their edges. Now they have, what is it called? Traction alopecia. And now that it's no longer in style, women are going and reversing the work that they got done. Some women are even coming out saying, I wish I would have never got it done. I didn't understand how beautiful I was. My natural beauty was beautiful. It took them going to the extreme to change all of these things about themselves to realize they were beautiful just the way that they were. Why is that? I've seen Queen Naja say it. I've seen Dream Doll say it. I've seen all of these different women say it. Black China, Angela White, I'm sorry. I've seen all of these women come out and say that. Why are they saying that? They went to the extreme lengths to change things that they felt like they couldn't change about themselves. So they went and changed it because they didn't want to accept it. And now they have regret. Are you doing the same thing?
If your child is ugly, tell them they're the most beautiful person in the world. Lie to them. Because, my God.
And I already showed you an example of a woman that is considered to be not conventionally attractive because she was a burn victim and she still doesn't carry your mindset. She puts in effort though. Let me go ahead and pull it back up. She puts in effort. So what's the difference? Like a lot of you, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're choosing this life. Like, just so you know, you choosing this life. This is the life that you're choosing for yourself, which is a choice. You're choosing this life. You really are. And I already went over that. Some of you you don't want to maximize your potential. You don't want to put in any work. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to complain. That's what you want to do. And you want people to feel sorry for you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, as a girl that was like this, let me show you. When I was in that same mentality, when I came out of it, I came to the conclusion that people really don't give a fuck. People don't give a fuck. People don't. People don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They pity you. That's not care. And the only reason they pity you is because it makes them feel better about themselves. They don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, once you actually work on yourself and you start to pour into yourself, you're going to come to that conclusion like, damn, they really didn't give a fuck. They just used me as a measuring stick to their own misery to make themselves feel better. So when I would go to them and I would be self-loathing and I would be in victimhood and I wanted somebody to pity me in my situation, they didn't actually care. They didn't actually care. And the only women you're going to be in community with are women that share that same misery. That's it. They do not give a fuck like you think. I'm going to tell you that right now. They do not care. Because I remember who I was around that time. So, no, like, I don't know. Like, and then from this girl right here, right? I put in, I don't know, like thousands of hours in the gym. There were times where I didn't eat Thanksgiving with my family. There were times where I didn't eat Christmas dinner. I disciplined myself. So again, you're comparing yourself to someone that has put in hours of work, hours of dedication, hours of discipline, hours of consistency. That is what you're comparing yourself to. I would like to see you put in those hours by pouring into yourself and see if you don't have similar results. then come back and have a conversation. Then come have a conversation with me. And the work that I put in, it wasn't just outer. Keep trying to tell you that. It's not just outer. So it's like, come on. And I shouldn't have to keep pulling up past versions of myself to make my point. I shouldn't. But I have to, because you're comparing yourself to me. So come on. Like, it's crazy. And again, I keep trying to tell you that you're not ugly. Like I said, you're just lazy. There is potential. What about, so let me get this straight, right? Because I'm on the other side of this, right? You clearly see me on the other side, right? My point is, what if I never believed in my potential? What if I just accepted, I'm ugly, I'm mid, I'm just an overweight black woman? What if I would have just accepted that? Then you wouldn't be able to judge me as a girl with pretty girl privilege, right? You wouldn't be able to do that because I accepted it. I was just mid and I'm just ugly. And that's it. And this is just the rest of my days and this is how I'm going to live my life and da-da-da-da. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think a lot of women need to accept that you don't want to do what it takes to feel better about yourself. You just don't. And maybe that's what you need to accept. Because you don't need to accept that you're ugly. You don't need to accept that you're mid. You need to accept the fact that you don't want to do what it takes to pour into yourself long enough to see the real you. That's it. Because right now, your truth is an illusion. Your truth is really just low self-esteem. That's your truth right now.
You know what's pissing me off? I'm tired of women popping up on my timeline, my newsfeed, talking about they ugly, they mid. You're lazy. You put in no effort. You think beauty is just waking up? It's not. It takes effort. It doesn't matter if it's art. Even when it comes to beauty and art, it takes effort. Even when it comes to beauty on the inside as a woman, it takes effort. It takes working on your insecurities. It takes acceptance. It takes loving yourself. It takes not comparing yourself to others. Beauty takes work. You're just lazy and you refuse to maximize your potential when it comes to your outer appearance, starting with working on the inside when it comes to your beauty.
And listen, everyone in the chat box keeps saying, oh, but you weren't ugly. Your face is not ugly. People called me ugly, though. People called me ugly. So again, beauty is, it's subjective. Like, at the end of the day, people called me ugly when I was growing up. I struggled with acne. I had hair on my face. I had sideburns. I went and got laser hair removal. There were things that I did to improve my outer appearance. So no, I don't know. I was bullied as a kid. I was called Godzilla. I was called a freak. Like, I was called, I don't know how many things. So again, you can say the potential was there, but people didn't see it. People only see what they see when they see you. They don't see anything else. They don't see your potential when it comes to your looks. They just think you're either ugly or you're not. So I just don't understand. I don't get it.
Y'all coming up on this app and talking about I'm ugly, I'm mid. Who are you comparing yourself to? Because you comparing yourself to somebody. And then you comparing yourself to women that do what? Put in effort. You have some women out here that put in a lot of effort when it comes to their aesthetic. And then you have women like myself where we put in effort both on the inside and the outside. It's equal all around. And then you come on this app with low self-esteem, insecure as fuck, looking for people to pity you when all it is just you being lazy, not wanting to maximize your potential when it comes to your beauty, both on the inside and outside. And you think low and you think negative of yourself. It's disgusting. I'm tired of seeing that. I'm tired of seeing. And it's like, what do you want us to say? Love yourself? What do you want us to say? I'm tired of seeing that. The truth is, you're lazy. The truth is, you don't want to put in work. That's what it is. And I mean that both on the inside and the outside. You don't want to do shit. You just think you wake up and that's it. That does not work. Even when you try to decorate the inside of a home, it takes effort. Wherever beauty exists, it takes effort. Even when it comes to the inside. To have a beautiful spirit, a beautiful personality, a beautiful character. Doesn't matter what it is. It takes effort. It takes work. Y'all are lazy. And then you're looking for pity. And you sit in victimhood and you want people to feel sorry for you. Well, we don't. We don't feel sorry for you. You're lazy. I don't feel sorry for you. Coming from a girl that went through what I went through, I don't feel sorry for you. You have to understand that there are women that have the same issues that you have, the same struggles that you have, and the only difference between us versus you, we did something about it. That's it. We just didn't accept things for what they were. We actually decided to change and put in the effort behind it to change. You're accepting your situation. You're accepting where you are right now. And then you're accepting it, but then you're also comparing yourself to these other things outside of yourself. And again, that's a choice. Like, that is a choice. That is a choice. And then another thing that I want to point out, because I already said this and I'm going to say it again because I mean this with my whole chest. This girl, this version of myself, I love her so much. And you want to know why? She believed in her potential. She believed in her potential. So she maximized it by putting in the effort. So I don't understand. Like, all I'm hearing are women just wanting to make excuses, and you're coming from this defeated mindset. So I would have to ask, when you have that defeated mindset, are you depressed? Are you struggling with mental health issues? Because it's something. It's something. During this time, when I was my heaviest, I was suicidal. I was depressed. I had very low self-esteem. So I'm trying to understand. After this situation, I had dropped out of college. When I was living at home with my parents, I had dropped out of college. I had gained a bunch of weight because I was depressed. And it was because I dropped out of college. I didn't tell anyone the reason behind why. It was because of my sexual assault. So even then, I chose to pick myself back up. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. And that's another thing. You think this shit is easy? You think it's going to be easy? You think it's going to be handed to you? Here, take it. That's not real life. That's not real life at all. Nothing is going to be handed to you. And the life that you want, it takes effort. Like, these are the same type of women. You want to do something for your birthday and you don't even plan it. You want to make new friends, but you don't even put yourself out there to make new friends. You want to travel, you want to do this, you want to do that. You don't put in no effort to do these things. So your life is just passing you by. That's it. You're wasting it away. That is the truth. It doesn't matter what you want in this world. It takes effort. It's not even just beauty. It's not. It's life. It's life. It's everything that you want, everything that you desire. It takes effort. It takes work. It takes motivating yourself. It takes you showing up for yourself even when you don't want to. It takes planning. You see women out here living their life and you think that they just wake up and do that shit. It took them planning to do it. And then you go and you plan and you're like, whoa, it takes all of this? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It takes all of this. It's hard. It's not easy. So that's why I said it just comes across as laziness to me. Or you may struggle with depression. One of the two. But it's like, come on. There's no way around it. There's no way around disciplining yourself. There's no way around showing up for yourself. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. You can try to get around it, and it's still going to come creeping in. Still. So this all comes down to, what do you want? And do you want it bad enough? When it comes to your beauty, do you believe in your potential when it comes to your beauty?
Because no woman just wakes up like this. And then you sit back and you compare yourself to women that wake up at 6 or 7. They wake up like an hour to an hour and 30 minutes before they have to head out to get themselves together. You're comparing yourself to those women, and then you just wake up and you just leave the house any type of way. Why would you do that? That's not even realistic. And you know what it is? It's because you don't accept where you are. You don't accept it. Because if you did, you wouldn't be comparing yourself. The only reason why you're comparing yourself to these women on the outside is because you have not accepted who you are. So you have one or two options. Self-acceptance, this is who I am. I love myself and I accept myself fully. Or I accept that this is where I am, but I can improve. Those are your only two options. But this, I don't accept where I am, but I'm going to sit here and compare myself to other women. Why are you doing that to yourself? Women that love themselves do not do that to themselves. Some of you may struggle with body dysmorphia. I feel like body dysmorphia is on the rise because of social media. I'm tired of seeing women pop up on my timeline saying they ugly and they mid, and I'm just like, you're not ugly. You're not ugly. So I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take. But something has to change. Like this cannot be it. And then to the women that are like, oh, but Yoni, but this is why I brought this lady up here, because she's beaten all the odds. This is a woman that has she was a burn victim in her childhood. Her whole body. She barely escaped with her life. She could have given up too. You're comparing yourself to women that just have not given up on ourselves. I could have given up on myself when I came back from college and I was recovering from my trauma. I could have given up on myself, but I didn't. So you have women that have gone through extreme traumatic experiences, and the only difference is we just didn't give up on ourselves. We did the work. We did the healing. We had to put ourselves back together. We had to rebuild. We had to pour into ourselves. And then we had to take it up a notch because of the trauma that we faced. So again, all of the excuses in the world you can have for yourself, but other women out here that you're comparing yourself to, we don't have those same excuses. We did something about it. That was our choice. So you got to do something. I don't know. I don't know. But this woman is beautiful. She is beautiful on the inside too, not just the outside. So I'm not saying that you got to manipulate yourself with lace fronts and lashes and like all of these things, but are you pouring into yourself in a real way? And we can tell that you're not, because you're coming online with low self-esteem. Women who pour into themselves do not have low self-esteem. And I'm talking about on the inside. I'm not talking about pouring into yourself like your maintenance, your beauty maintenance is more rooted in performance. It's more rooted in performative femininity. When I say effort, that is not what I'm referring to. A lot of you think putting effort into yourself and pouring into yourself is rooted in performative femininity. That is not what I'm talking about. At all. At all. That's that centering men bullshit. And it's going to lead you to a point where you don't even like yourself. You don't love yourself at all. Because it's performative. It's not you being authentic and true to yourself.
And you love a robe and you love a little bit of drama, you're gonna love this. Do you see this? This is from a Nigerian brand called Loveland, and they actually gifted me this when I was in Nigeria with few more colors, and I love the double linings. Like, come on, rich black woman, like, oh. And I also have it in this beautiful kind.
And I'm just looking at her like, what if she would have given into defeat? What if she would have given into defeat? I'll never measure up. That could never be me. But there's no one out there that looks like me. Like, what if she would have taken on that mindset? She wouldn't have gotten the opportunities that she has. I personally, I don't feel like makeup, hair, and all of that is performative for all women. It's for the women that I'm referring to. If you know you're not good at makeup, or you don't like makeup, you don't like the idea, then it would be performative to you. Do I think it's performative for Shalom? Do I think it's performative for her to dress up like this? No, I think this is truly her authenticity. I think this is truly how she loves to express herself. But for other women, they don't like makeup. They don't like the Hollywood glam look. Not every woman likes that. So it's only performative if it's not true to you, if it's not true to who you are, if that's not how you want to self-express. So for Shalom, trying to do what she does, for her, may be performative to you, but it's not performative to her. It just depends on your authenticity. Like for me, I like a nice glam. That's not me being performative. That's me being real. But one thing I learned about myself this year, I don't put on makeup when I'm going through shit. Like when I'm going through stuff, I don't like wearing makeup. I won't wear it. I'm gonna tell you that right. I'm not wearing the shit. When I'm going through real life shit, I'm not putting on makeup. That would be so fake and performative to me. But for other women, they can put on makeup while they're going through stuff and it's not performative. It makes them feel better in the middle of a crisis. Me, I just like, I'm gonna just cry it off. I'm like, what's the point of putting it on? But other women, they put it on, it makes them feel better in the middle of a crisis. They will beat their face. That is just how they are. It just depends. Some women, it's a full face and that's not performative. Me, like wearing like heavy makeup, that would be performative for me. Every woman is going to be different. This is why you shouldn't compare. It just depends. So to me, Shalom, I feel like this is who she is. I feel like this is how she's always been. Like this is how she freely expresses herself because it gives individuality.
Color with the green ostrich feather. I mean, this is stunning. It does have the green slip dress in the inside. And then we do have a scarf, so you can either tie this on your head or just wear it like this. Garden, stop, please. I beg of you.
Y'all ever talk to moms on the phone and they be yelling at their kids in the background? Stop it. That's what it remind me of. Okay. I think they need to watch. I think y'all need to watch Shalom. I think part of the issue, let me tell you the issue with a lot of women. Y'all sit up and you know who you put on pedestals? You don't put women on pedestals that are truly transparent. You know who you put on pedestals? People like Huda. Women like Huda. Women like Kim Kardashian. And then not only that, y'all fight tooth and nail to defend them. And then they don't even give you the courtesy of transparency. Y'all put racially ambiguous women on pedestals and then you don't even look like them. And then you're comparing yourself to them. Make it make sense. Are you filling your timeline on social media with women that look like you? Because the majority of your timeline should be women that look like you. If not, you're following girls that don't look like you, like they don't have your phenotype, they don't have your facial structure. You're following like all of these women that look the complete opposite of you. That's messing with your head. That's messing with your head big time. So I just want to know, like, what are we doing? Then there were these videos that ended up going viral on TikTok. No, not TikTok. Twitter X with Cardi B. She's currently being exposed about some of the things that she said earlier on in her career. And I'm going to try to see if I can post them. But a lot of the stuff that she was talking about, she didn't agree with changing her teeth. She didn't agree with changing her face and things like that. And she went and changed. She ended up changing her face. She ended up changing and correcting her teeth, which I personally don't see anything wrong with it. But it was the way in which she said that she would never do these things and she would never get these things done. And she ended up getting it done anyway. So, I don't know. I think maybe some of the issue is you're not following women that actually look like you. And then you're comparing yourself to women that don't look like you. And you will never look like them unless you go and you get surgery. So that could be a major issue. My timeline is pretty mixed, but the bulk of my followers that I follow are women that look like me. Black women. Women that are tall, thicker, heavier on the bottom than they are on the top because that's my body type. So we tend to share similar struggles. So when I watch their content, I don't feel out of place. I don't feel like I need to change these things about myself because I'm supporting women that actually look like me. I'm in community with women that actually look like me because they can offer me help in some type of way, resources. That's how I learned that I most likely had a hormonal issue. That my weight issue wasn't just, oh, I couldn't lose weight because of food. It was because I had a hormonal issue. And if I wouldn't have followed those women that were speaking out and educating women on my body type, our body type, I would have never gotten that information. So is your news feed helping you or is your news feed not helping you? It's actually setting you back. So a lot of women, I see that all the time. Like you'll literally see women in the comment section uphold these women that are not transparent. Is the woman that you're looking to for inspiration is not realistic for you because you don't look like her. You will never look like her. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not saying that you have to or there's anything wrong with looking like that. It's just you won't ever look like her. And maybe you're just in that space where you can't follow women like that you don't look like, but you can still hold space for her beauty. Because if you're still at that level where you can't hold space for other women's beauty without comparing yourself, then you need to start unfollowing some people. You need to start unfollowing people. You need to get to that point where you can maximize your potential, hone in on your own beauty, build your self-esteem and your self-confidence up, and then maybe you can hold space for other women's beauty without comparing yourself. So maybe you need to go unfollow some people. And I've done it. I've done it. I don't know what era this was. This was years ago. I want to say, because I was in the loft. So I want to say this had to be around like 2018. I unfollowed the girls that had gotten their work done, like the BBLs. I unfollowed every woman that had gotten work done like that. Because I started noticing how it had a long-lasting impression on my mind when it came to how I was viewing myself in the mirror. And I didn't like that. So at one point, I was following like the Jada Waiters, the Ari Fletchers. I was following like all of the girls that had gotten like work done. And then they weren't even being transparent about the work that they had gotten done. So I started unfollowing like all of those pages where it just seemed super extreme. Like the beauty was just super extreme and it wasn't natural to me. And I unfollowed those pages. And then I would say about a year of me unfollowing those pages, when they would pop up on my newsfeed from like the Shade Room, Baller Alert, Neighborhood Talk, those like blog sites, and I would see them and I'm like, whoa, because you could see that your mind wasn't used to seeing BBLs or the butt injections. I wasn't used to that anymore. So my mind had completely changed psychologically to the point where it came across very extreme. Whereas before, when I was following those pages, it came across normal. So when I started unfollowing those girls that had gotten all of that work done, and they were always wearing like the lace fronts and they were pulling their face back with the lace fronts and all of that stuff, when I would see them, prime example is a homegirl from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. You could tell she's done something to her face. I forget her name. Sierra. When I see her, because that's unnatural to me just based off of my timeline. When I see her, I'm like, whoa, you know? And then when you, and this is no shade at all. Like, this is just me being honest. Like, it's psychological. That's how deep it is. So then when I look at, she was on the Breakfast Club. Keisha Kayor. She's another one where you see her on the Breakfast Club and you can like see like the lip fillers and all of that stuff. And it looks pretty extreme because again, I don't follow women that are extreme with their beauty like that. So when you go from unfollowing those pages and you go to follow people that are just like normal looking, like they're not putting all of these enhancements in their faces and things like that. And then you go and you see them, you're like, whoa, it's like a huge difference. So maybe that could be the issue too. Maybe it's the accounts that you're following that has you thinking negatively about yourself like this. Maybe it's the reason why you think your truth is that you're ugly and that you're mid, but you're really not. So I don't know. It's something about that, but I'm telling you. And then it just seems like with the course of society going through this shift of coming out of those extreme beauty standards of the BBL and the fillers and the face fillers and the Botox and all of that stuff, right? We're coming out of that. And so now that we're coming out of that, whenever you see a girl that has all of that stuff done, it's like drastically different. Like, it's like, whoa, it just seems so extreme. But at one point, psychologically, we thought that that was normal at one point. And some women subscribe to those standards. And so now those standards are now changing. And so now it just looks way more extreme than it did when it was normal. So consider these things when you're looking at your news feed and you're looking at all the women that you're following. That could be the reason why you actually believe that you're mid. You actually believe that you're ugly. So I don't know. I stopped following those pages. I started following real people. I'm not gonna lie. I started following like just regular people. I just started doing that. Every now and then, it's very rare. And are there natural women out here that have like six packs and all that? Of course. Of course. I saw the whole situation with Nara Smith, right? She just had her baby about 4 weeks ago. She's 4 weeks postpartum. And you have women. There was a thread that I was on Instagram, Threads, and there were women talking about Nara Smith. And it was because they were comparing themselves to her. And it's like, why would you compare yourself to a woman like that and you know you don't have her genetics? You don't have her genetics. So why would you compare yourself to someone you don't even have the same genetics? It makes no sense. And so women are taking her snapback so personal. They're internalizing it like something's wrong with them. And listen, I don't know who gets to make the rules about how we get certain genetics that we want that others have. Like, I don't know who gets that, right? Who gets to make those choices and decisions for us before we come here. But you got to stop comparing yourself to other women. You got to. You're always going to lose when you do that. You're going to continue to lose when you consistently compare yourself to other women. So that's another thing. And then you had women in the comment section making excuses about, oh, but she has nannies and she has this and she has money and she's rich and she's wealthy. I'm sorry. Money cannot buy how her body looks. It's natural. That's just her genetics. That's it. Money cannot buy her snapping back like that. So that's all I really wanted to say. I saw how people were projecting on Ashanti as well, that, you know, her new mom body. I don't know. I saw mixed reviews. I personally saw more women and men loving her mom body than I saw people hating. That's just me being honest. Like, I saw more people giving her praises and love and celebrating her new mom body than I saw people dragging her. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. But then again, I don't follow those toxic pages. Like, I don't follow the Shade Room. I don't follow Baller Alert. I don't follow those pages anymore. So that could be why. I did see her go viral on Facebook, but again, people were giving her praises for her mom bod. So I don't know. But again, Ashanti comparing herself to Nara Smith just doesn't make sense. They don't have the same genetics. So again, if some of this, I really feel like it's the pages that women are choosing to follow, which back to, you're making a choice. You're choosing to follow these pages, and then you're looking at yourself differently. And then another thing too that I want to talk about, because people are going to consistently gaslight me on my earlier experiences and my earlier truth when it comes to what I look like. Okay? You can sit here and say, Yoni, you weren't ugly. Yoni, you were just big. You can say all of these things. It does not take away from my truth and my experience. It just does not. It does not. At the end of the day, you can say all of these things, and honestly, I feel like it's gaslighting, and it's very dismissive. It's very dismissive. So you can say all of that, but at the end of the day, it does not change what I went through in my earlier childhood. I struggled with hair on my face. I struggled with acne. I had cis acne. The only reason why I don't have cis acne on my face right now is because I realized it was the sugar. It was the sugar that they were putting in food. And again, this is why I'm saying things like, okay, some of you are just lazy and you lack discipline. Because I would have all of that cis acne on my face if I didn't remove the sugar out of my diet. So are you refusing to make these changes? And this is why you think you're mid? Because I literally had to take sugar out of my diet. After keto, I never went back to eating how I was eating before. Because I saw the improvement. I saw the improvement with my skin. I saw the improvement with my menstrual cycle. I saw the improvement with belly fat. I just never went back. I just never went back to eating how I was eating before. So I think a lot plays into that too. It's like, are you willing to make these changes because it's better for your body? Or are you just not willing to make those changes at all? And at that time, I was struggling with cis acne and I had hyperpigmentation on my face. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it may give laziness. Now, new moms like Ashanti, she's a new mom. Like, she's still trying to navigate that. I really don't have any opinion on that, honestly. Some of it could be alcohol too. Like, I see a lot of women drinking alcohol, not understanding that can influence skin breakouts and all other type of issues like inflammation in the body. I started noticing that I get inflammation in the body too. So you're talking to a girl that got laser hair removal, electrology. I got my eyebrows microbladed. Like, I got all of this work done. This is why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people at all. I got weight loss surgery back in 2014. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So it's just something that, I don't know. I think you need to go to the drawing board and the vision board that you've been having for years and you feel like it hasn't came true. You need to get real about your goals. And I'm going to tell you this now because I talk about manifestation all the time. If you can create, if you don't create a vehicle for your goals to come true, it's never happening. Never. You can create all the vision boards in the world. It's never going to happen for you. You have to create a vehicle. So the vehicle could be a morning routine, a nighttime routine, a set schedule, discipline, consistency, focus, determination. So you can have this vision, which is great, but if you don't have the vehicle that gets you to the vision that you're wanting, then you're never going to reach that goal. You're never going to reach those manifestation goals that you have. So create a vehicle. I don't know what the vehicle needs to look like, but you can't just keep creating vision boards and think, oh, they're just going to come true. They're not. So it's kind of like, it's the same thing. Like faith without work is dead. Faith without work is dead. It's the same thing to me. So I'm going to just go ahead and log out. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. And listen, if you just have excuses for yourself, that's fine too. That's fine. That's fine. But I'll never forget. This is when I decided to change my life. You want to know what made me change my life? I was 19 years old. I had been to jail twice. And the second time I went to jail, I stood before a judge, and the judge told me, I never want to see you back in my courtroom. And I reflected at 19 years old that I was destroying my life. I was destroying my life. I was self-destructive. And here I was acting out. It was a cry for help. I was crying for attention. I was crying for help. I wanted someone to validate my pain. I wanted someone to validate the things that I had gone through up until that point. But no one came. No one came to validate me. No one even saw my pain. So you know what I had to do? I had to validate myself in that moment. And then not only that, I had to take accountability for the fact that I was destroying my own life. That I wasn't hurting those that hurt me. I was hurting myself. And see, at that time, I was very spiteful. I wanted to hurt those that hurt me. So I felt like the only way I could do that was to disappoint my parents by going to jail, doing stupid shit. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get back at them. I'm going to get back at them. The whole time I'm fucking up my own life. So you have choices. You do. You have a choice. And when I was 19 years old, I decided that, damn, it seemed like the only one that is getting the shortest end of the stick when it comes to what I was doing was me. So then that's when I decided that I didn't want to take that route. So I started putting a lot of effort and focus into myself. I had anger issues real bad. That's how I ended up in the courtroom, because I had anger issues. Like I would literally attack you like a wild animal just because you said something to me crazy. You looked at me a certain type of way. Like I was just on 10. But that's how I dealt with conflict. That's how I dealt with confrontation. So it's like one of those things where you can either let your trauma and your circumstances hold you to where you're at, or you can alchemize and transmute and rise above it. It's your choice. But I'm going to tell you right now, after everything I've been through in my life, I realized people really didn't care. They just pitied me and my situation. That's it. They didn't care. And as soon as my life started improving, these people started falling to the wayside. They was there answering my calls and my texts when I had a problem or something was going wrong in my life. But when I had good news, they didn't know how to celebrate with me. So I'm telling you, the only people that you're going to find comfort in when it comes to your misery are people who are also miserable. That's it. And that was the hardest thing that I had to accept was, but wait, I created these relationships at a time in my life where I wasn't doing well. I wasn't my best. And I was in community with these people. I was creating friendships with these people. Now that I'm elevating and I'm improving my life, thinking that they would be happy for me, because it's like, damn, I'm always coming to you with bad news. I'm thinking if I come to you with good news, you would be so excited. It wasn't that. It was the opposite. So that's all I got to say. Y'all give the video a thumbs up. I know some of y'all gonna still take it offensively, but there are women out here where we're putting in the work to get what we want. And then there are women out here that are still making excuses for themselves. And at the end of the day, you only get one life. You don't get to do this again. I mean, who would want to do this again anyway? Because this is crazy. Like, Earth is ghetto as hell. But I'm saying, like, you only get one life. Y'all have a nice Sunday. I'll see you later on Patreon for the workshop.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.